Manic Monday, how are we doing? Triple header yesterday, 3 games going on. This is what football's all about, baby. I love it. The Commanders Buccaneer game I'll get to later on today. That was what playoff football's all about. Back and forth. Guys going all out. This is do or die. Let's go. But I want to start off at the top with the Broncos Bills yesterday. And then I want to touch on Green Bay and what the fuck happened there. But let's start off with Buffalo and Denver. Going into the game, I knew Buffalo was going to beat that ass, okay? Denver, cute story, but Buffalo's been in a class of its own in the AFC in that second tier. Kansas City's at the top. Buffalo's right below you with Baltimore. And early on in that game, I had concerns. Denver came out hot. They were slinging that rock, slinging the pill around. They were running it. They were passing it. And Bo Nix hit that bomb to Franklin, who played with him at Oregon. And then something changed. And then Denver just couldn't get momentum. Josh Allen and that offense, that's a 10th in football. I mean, they're so balanced. 9th rushing, 9th passing, or something around those ranges. It was just incredible. But early on, I had that feeling with Buffalo, man. Why the fuck did they come out so flat? It was 7-3? You're at home? Now, you did win. I'm not trying to take discredit what happened. But, man, Sean McDermott, man, I don't know. I'm starting to wonder with him. They're not a good football team. I mean, early on, they weren't. They didn't play like the number 2 seed. But then they woke up and put Denver to sleep. So, congrats to the Bills. They move on. And Denver, I'll get to them right now. Denver, to me, is really, really close. They got a bright future ahead of them. Good young talent on this roster. They're going to keep building this thing up. Them and the Chargers are going to keep doing what they're doing this year. Joe Ortiz, Joe Patton, they're going to build this program up with Sean Payton and Jim Harbaugh. Is Bo Nix ever going to be elite? No. But I saw yesterday enough that I go, it was a bad spot, bad place, wrong time, and they're going to be okay. There's a bright future in Denver. You're going to keep adding playmakers. You're going to keep beefing up this offensive line. You got Bo Nix on this rookie contract. You got to strike it while the iron's hot. And Buffalo's doing that with Josh Allen. I believe Denver could do that with Bo Nix. So don't be discredited, Bronco fans, that you lost yesterday. I was expecting a little bit more of a fight after that opening touchdown, but it just wasn't your day. So I'm not going to just beat up on you. As much as I love watching Denver lose and the Chargers lose to make my Raider fandom awesome, I'm not going to do that today. I will say this right now. I was thinking about this on my way home tonight from the gym. Denver's good. And I hate saying that as a Raider fan, but I will give Denver their flowers. They got a really good roster. Defensively, very, very good. Offensively, it's okay. It's not bad. Could use a little bit more juice, a little bit more firepower, but they got something going. And I think Bo Nix, we'll see how the next year goes because, I've always heard this from people. You come in this league as a rookie, you catch people off guard, they haven't seen what you're doing, and then the people study you. Excuse me. So we'll see what happens. I do think moving forward, Denver's going to be good shape. And then Buffalo, listen, I could see Super Bowl with Buffalo. I really do. I could see it going Buffalo, Baltimore in the AFC. I know Kansas City, I can't count them out, but I got a little bit of concern right now. 3 weeks off, a lot of rust going on. And I could see that being a factor come Sunday. I don't think they'll lose to the Texans, but I could see them losing the AFC Championship game, possibly. But I can't doubt Mahomes and Reed and Kelsey and those guys. So Buffalo moves on. They play Baltimore next week. I cannot wait for that match. We're going to be talking about it all week long. Lamar, Allen. So I'm ready for that matchup. And it's at 6:30. Bills Mafia is going to be humming, going to be rocking. I think it'd be, the same way if it was in Baltimore. So 2 evenly coached teams, elite quarterback play. This is what football's all about. This is what playoff football's all about. So I do think Lamar, he is 3-4 now in the playoffs. But I think Josh Allen deserves Super Bowl. And Buffalo deserves Super Bowl, just like Detroit. I wouldn't mind seeing Kansas City go as much as it pains me, but I think it'd be cool to see Buffalo go. It'd be cool to see Detroit go in the NFC. So That's just my take on that game. The second game I wanted to touch on was Green Bay, Philadelphia. Green Bay looked absolutely shell-shocked yesterday. They looked frazzled. They looked flustered. That opening kickoff, and they fumbled it. I went, shit, here we go. But, Green Bay, hang your head high. I mean, they're right there. I think they're a little bit a year away. But, they're going to be a good football team. Matt LaFleur's a good coach. But, man, it's hard. It felt like a mass unit yesterday. I mean, they were getting guys hurt left and right. The injury bug just bit the Packers in the ass. It felt like the 2010 season when they had 15 guys going on and ultimately they won the Super Bowl. But this time it was different. And Jordan Love, listen, I drank the Kool-Aid. I'll admit it. I did with Jordan Love. And I still think he's a hell of a talent. But he's just not a great quarterback. And, this year was a roller coaster, him being in and out the lineup. He gets hurt. He rushes back, try to play. He's a warrior. I get it. But I just, to me, for my sanity, you got to do something with Jordan Love. You got to corral him a little bit. He's got a lot of Favre in him. And I've said before, and this drives me absolutely nuts, when I hear these morons, they keep saying, well, he's got 11 interceptions. Well, how many touchdowns? 32. Okay, I'll live with that. That's fine. A lot of these picks are random. Balls tipped, guys deflecting, whatever. Okay, I'm not going to sleep. I'm not going to lose sleep. Excuse me. So, I'm not going to lose sleep over bullshit that people think, okay? So Green Bay's going to be fine. It was very concerning and alarming. They just couldn't get their footing in that game. I don't know what was going on. I don't know what was happening. But I will say, though, Green Bay's still a playoff team next year, and I think they're a year away from being contenders in the NFC, because the NFC is kind of wide open. We don't know what San Francisco, the Rams, whatever happens with them. Minnesota. So there's a lot of moving parts in the NFC. When I look at Philadelphia yesterday, I'm not impressed. I'm really not impressed with Philadelphia. You got A.J. Brown reading a book on the sideline. That was a closer game than it should have been. I mean, it should have been 24-3. Philly at home with that offensive line, them leaning on Saquon. What the fuck you doing, Sirianni? And once again, this Eagle team has got so much talent that it's stupid. But they are not disciplined. They're not a well-coached team to me. They look dumb. Sirianni, I mean, listen, he didn't do his normal juvenile behavior. But why are you not controlling your team? He's like Michael from Elf. He just, he's such a douche. And I hope he loses. Listen, they're probably going to win next weekend at home. And they'll get the NFC Championship game. But I don't know about Super Bowl, man. Because they got a lot to prove to me to go to the Super Bowl. And I just don't see it right now, in this moment. I could be wrong. Maybe they will beat the Rams or the Vikings. I could see it happening. I think it will be a challenge for Minnesota to go into Philly after being in L.A. and, the wildfires and all that shit going down. California's a shithole state. Good God almighty. But we'll see what happens in the playoff games next weekend. And I'm not sold on Philadelphia. They have talent, but they're just not well coached to me. They look kind of all over the place. They're not disciplined. They're just something off. I know they've been great on defense all year. They fly around, man. Their talent level's outrageous on defense side of the football. Jalen Carter's showing you what he is when he came out of Georgia, despite all the bullshit. Their corners are excellent. Vic Fangio's obviously changed life in Philadelphia, which he should. And it's funny that Miami fans were bitching that he was an asshole. Well, maybe being an asshole works because Miami Dolphins can't do shit on defense. Maybe that was it. All these players being soft as shit. This whole generation's a joke. Besides the point. So, to recap that game, Green Bay, year away, very disappointing end of the season. They kind of stumbled down the stretch compared to last year, where they went into the postseason on a hot streak, on a tear. And Green Bay ends their season. Time to regroup. Time to get back to work. And in terms of Philadelphia, they're moving on. And they're going to play either the winner of tonight's game. I'm recording this an hour before that game. I'll get some of my reactions tomorrow. But we got to see what happens in that game. between Rams and Vikings. Whoever team wins that game, they go to Philadelphia. So last game I wanted to touch on was the most entertaining game of the weekend because this weekend had Boarfest written all over it. A lot of bad football playoff. Again, still I'm going to watch and watch it, but that game had everything element-wise that you love about football. The back and forth. Two Heisman Trophy winners going at it. Two really well-coached teams, the Buccaneers and the Commanders. Two defensive-led teams with Todd Bowles and Dan Quinn. And Jaden Daniels, to me, look, he's something. And he's playing so well right now. He's on fire. He's on a terror of destruction to me. I mean, it's insane. But I need to calm people because I saw this movie with RG3 in Washington and it ended poorly. Okay, first year he let the world on fire. RG3 got hurt. Luckily for him, he's only had the rib injury, so that's okay. But going forward, you got to be wary of this because I could see an RG3 situation where, he plays and then they kind of sit and all that stuff. But I am very impressed with the Commanders. I'm still going to call them the Redskins, doing the Commanders. I don't give a shit. Okay? They are a good football team. Now, this is the worst roster that Jaden Daniels, is going to have. And it is. Because you're on a rookie contract, like I just mentioned off the top with Bo Nix in Denver. You're going to have rookie contract, get all this cheap labor, buy great players now because you're going to have to pay Jaden Daniels at some point down the road in a couple of years. And we don't know what that Super Bowl window is going to be like because they shut fast in this league. So that's what I had in Washington. They got to get better defensively. They're better on defense, but they need some more dudes on defense. More corners, more everything. So they have a huge, huge test this Saturday night in Detroit, 8 p.m. I cannot wait to watch that game. And lastly, I want to touch on the Buccaneers. That was a gut-wrenching loss at home, but I just felt like Tampa just kind of played catch-up a lot of the night. It's not a shot at them. It's not a shot at Tampa Bay. For the season that they had, I picked them to win the division, and I was right. Because I picked most of the division winners, and I was almost right on every single one of them. And I picked Tampa before the year because I thought they had playoff experience. Guys who been in the Super Bowl, been there, done that, and I was right on the money. So, and they just fought hard last night. And Baker fucking Mayfield, whoa, my guy, my doppelganger, looked balling last night, looked flawless, no turnovers, minus the fumble. That was shitty. But he played such clean football up until that point. Laid everything on the line. He's more mobile than I've ever thought he was. Jesus, man, good Lord. He can move. He runs around. He's scrambling. He's fighting for that first down. His teammates love him. Mike Evans is still a stud. I mean, I heard some moron tell me he's not a Hall of Famer. You're drunk off your ass. Get off the crack pipe, okay? He's got 11,000-yard seasons with all these different quarterbacks before he got Tom Brady. He's a star, okay? One of the best receivers of my lifetime, maybe of all time. I don't know where he ranks, but he's in that class. If you are second only behind Jerry Rice in 1,000-yard seasons with 11, you deserve my respect. And Mike Evans always has. So, what an incredible fight last night for Tampa Bay. It just fell short. These things happen. Baker has just revitalized his life down in Tampa. And I'm just so impressed with the Buccaneers. I do think they got to do some digging in the offseason. Got to, rework some contracts. But the future in Tampa Bay looks bright. And as long as they got Baker Mayfield and the cast of crew that they have, they're going to be set for a while. I still trust them in this division because I don't trust the Saints. Carolina's kind of messy, kind of mismatched. We don't know. And then, obviously, Atlanta's got their issues with Penix situation. Kirk Cousins, just a weird dynamic. So, it's going to be an interesting offseason. Washington moves on to recap that game, and Tampa Bay goes home. And what should be a very good year for Tampa Bay, hang your hat high, because you won that division, and it was kind of struggling, and you faced a lot of adversity this year. You're a tough football team with Todd Bowles and with this staff. You guys will be okay. So, that's all I want to touch on tonight. Hope you guys are doing well on this Manic Monday. Hit the like, subscribe, share button. And I'll give you guys my post-game reaction tomorrow to the Rams-Vikings game, which is coming on soon. And stay tuned. Throughout the week, I got more content coming. And talk to you guys soon. Hope you guys have a great night.